Hello and welcome to Vlogoween number 30. We're almost done. This is one of the best horror movies I find. It's certainly one of my favorites. I saw this about 4 or 5 years ago with headphones on at 2 in the morning in pitch black, sitting in my bed on a laptop, which is how a lot of horror movies should be watched because that's what really can get to you. This is a 1980 British-American psychological horror film that was an adaptation of a Stephen King novel, one of the good ones, The Shining. Most people have seen this, so I don't need to explain anything. That's it. No. Stanley Kubrick, whatever it is one of my favorite directors, even though he is kind of an asshole. And he has done a lot of terrible things and a lot of bad stuff. Not even like he's done a lot of terrible scumbag kind of things, but he's also just done some bad work. And yeah, I'm being real there. There's some of his stuff that I really don't care for much. This is about Jack Nicholson playing Jack Torrance, going to this hotel as the winter caretaker when the hotel is never used. And he has to just, I don't know why he's called a caretaker. He doesn't actually do any caretaking things. But he thinks that, hey, it'll be all the solitude. Maybe I'll finally be able to finish this writing thing that I want to do. Maybe I'll finish my novel or whatever. And the hotel is built on an ancient Indian, Native American, burial ground. And they get snowed in. And he's with his wife, Shelley Duvall. Don't remember her character's name. And their son Danny, who claims he talks to Mr. Thimble and his finger. I don't remember the real finger character's name. I really don't remember. Tony? Maybe Tony. Mr. Thimble is from Muppet Treasure Island with Fozzie. But yeah, so they go there, and the isolation and kind of the history of the place, and of course the spirits or whatever, kind of start getting to Jack. And his wife believes that she may have abused Danny because he saw something spooky when riding his little trike around. And I think he sees this blood flood out of an elevator door. I think that's the first one, because later on he sees other things. And Danny apparently learns that he has this telepathic ability called the Shining. And yeah. Now, Jack keeps getting more and more kind of on edge as the hotel gets to him, and he starts seeing old people that used to work there, like a barkeep, other people. He gets more and more frustrated, and he starts, having violent outbursts, being mean to his wife, and it gets more progressively suspenseful. This movie is king of suspense when it comes to horror movies. I'm dead serious. But yeah, it's basically the tale of a man going crazy, and what a crazy man will do to what were at first his loved ones. And it's where the famous "Here's Johnny" thing comes from referencing the old talk show. This movie's great. Everyone should see it. It started a ton of trends with horror movies. It also started a lot of cliches and references that everyone knows. Red Rum, Come Play With Us, Danny. Here's Johnny. That Frozen shot. Ancient Native American burial ground, that's been used to death. A bunch of other things. Kubrick really landed really did a great job with this movie, and apparently Stephen King hates it. I don't know if he hates it, but he has problems with it because they changed a good deal of the ending from the book, which I didn't know that when I first saw it. I don't really read Stephen King. I don't really read much in general anymore, but if you change the ending of a book, it's totally fine to dislike a movie. And I'm told the book is really good too, so if you want a horror novel, maybe try that. It's classic. But it's also where the all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy thing came from, which there's a bit of an industry factoid about that. That is just sad. But yeah, there were a lot of this movie also marked a lot of moments where Kubrick was just a dick to the cast and a dick to his assistants and just all around bad guy. But you don't know that when you're watching it, when you're first watching it. So it's you know, a lot of bad things happen to make good movies exist. It's not something I'm happy that happens, but whatever. This movie's great. I think you all should watch it. Now let's talk about that's The Shining. That's Vlogoween number 30. Let's talk about tomorrow. When I made this list of horror movies, I came up with 31 movies I wanted to watch. I actually came up with a lot more, but after tomorrow's, I plan on putting up another video of just these are the movies I couldn't get around to. Maybe they'll show up next. Maybe they'll show up next year. Maybe they never will. Maybe I'll just watch them whenever. You know, who knows? But I made a list of 31, and then I found a list randomizer, and I put 30 of them into that list randomizer, and that gave us all the Vlogoweens I've done so far. All those were just random order and picked. Tomorrow's is not. It was picked very specifically because I have never actually seen any of it apart from maybe a couple minutes here and there when I was really young. I don't know. I picked it because it is one of the it's one of the more important movies to exist in the horror genre. There's when you talk about like important horror movies throughout the years, you can list 200 and there's still more. Like a lot of horror movies are important for different reasons, for how they did makeup, how they did costumes, how they did, you don't need jump scares, how they did music, all these other little things. Tomorrow's is a silent movie. It is one of the greatest silent movies, and it has one of the greatest actors of all time. And that's all I'm going to say about it. So tomorrow, we'll do Vlogoween 31. I'll be done with this piece of shit project, and I'll do a little list like, hey, here's all the movies that I didn't get to. I don't know if I'll ever post them. And I might do more movie vlogs, because this channel doesn't get a lot of uploads. This channel is just kind of, I had plans for like a whole season of videos, and I never made like any of them. Even though I did that really obnoxious like season 7 opening. So the show was called GLB. There's no show name. I don't know what I'm doing. In the future, I may post vlogs about things I've seen. Maybe I'll do kind of like afterthoughts, because this is basically like afterthoughts. If any of you ever saw that, I don't know how many are still up. I've taken a lot of stuff down, or made a lot of it private just to have. But this has gone on way too long. I apologize. I'll see you tomorrow for some of you can probably guess the movie I'm thinking of, but I need to go watch it soon. So see you tomorrow.